Yeah, nothing to see here. It's just me. You want to move to a new country that you don't know anyone, and there's this issue of not falling into the hands of people that can cheat you, and not just cheat you now, people that can collect your money and not give you anything. What we call 419 in Nigeria. You see that idea of don't worry, when you get here, you buy all the clothes you need. Hey, they showed me shaky. Welcome to my channel. My name is Toke, and that's short for Oritoke. My full name is Oritoke. Well, the full name rather. So welcome to my channel. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to be talking about the realities of relocating. Realities of relocating to a new country. Adjusting and everything. Okay, so firstly, I think I need to put a disclaimer. I think there is nothing wrong with relocating, right? I don't think there is any bad thing about thinking, okay, I want to live where I am. Whether it's just because you like to explore, to see the world, you like to travel, you're adventurous, or you're someone who is just, seeking, you're just trying to get a better life, or just something different entirely for yourself and maybe your family. See, if you're going to relocate, whether you are going from one state to another in your country, or you're leaving your country completely, I believe it's not easy. It might seem like it should be our jaws, and we're going to talk about that now. I believe, yes, adjustment is the first thing, and this thing is dear to me because I've seen people make mistakes. See, come closer. You need to adjust to the culture, to the food, to the language, if there is a language barrier or anything. If there is no language barrier, fine, good for you. But you need to adjust to so many things. And I'm saying this because I can actually relate. For me, I moved from Nigeria to Malta. Yes, I traveled before. I used to travel. But when I came to Malta, I relocated because I had to go to school. I'm a student. But when I say my eye clear, it's clear. It's not easy. And I know one time on this channel, I have mentioned it before that relocating for me was a bit, it was a bit complicated, and that's because of the weather. I miss my family, I miss my friends, and all of those things. So we're going to talk about that today. And I believe that this is something that people don't talk about. We don't get to see. Everybody just wants to japa, and I will not stop saying it. Japa is not for everybody. If you don't know, understand now. Japa is not for everybody. And if you're not Nigerian, you may not understand what I'm saying, but japa is what we call it in Nigeria if someone wants to leave the country. Especially those that are really, really desperate, that wants to leave at all costs. You need to understand that there's something we call process, and then you need to really... but one thing for me is that nothing actually prepares you. There's nothing that can actually prepare you for like you settling in a new country or a new state or somewhere entirely different from where you actually grew up, where you're familiar with. Nothing prepares you for what's to come. And I'm saying that because for me, like when I came to Europe here, and it was very, very hard for me to like adjust to the weather. Yeah, Nigeria is just a bit warm, but trust me, when it comes to weather, it's a bit harsh. Whether in summer or winter or whatever time of the season, like for me it was very cold, very, very cold, and even winter is closer now. Yeah, it's upon us, and I'm already thinking, God, how am I going to deal with this? If you're going to be moving to another country or another state entirely, your mind has to be prepared. The adjustment period is, it's like a phase, like the first phase, but your mind has to be prepared. One reason why I always say that if you're going to be traveling or relocating, you need to do your research. You need to know where you are going so as to like be sure you don't get there and you look like, oh my God, is this it? Is this everything? Or you're disappointed, or maybe you have high expectations and you get there and it's something else entirely. But let's not dwell on the adjustment period, but you have to adjust. And sometimes it can take you a year, it can take you just a few months if you're someone who is used to traveling, maybe like a nomad or something. But at some point you have to adjust to the cultures, to the new language. If you're someone who is gifted, you can quickly pick up. I mean, I've met people from other countries speaking Maltese. I stay in Malta, by the way. So I've met people that speak Maltese and they're not even Maltese. So if you are someone who picks up really fast, good for you. But you have to adjust to the culture, like I said, to the food, because one way or the other, yes, there would always be places where you can get your traditional food or whatever it is, whatever country you came from, but one way or the other, you still have to adjust to the food. You have to adjust to the fashion sense. Trust me, you don't want to know what I've gone through when it comes to clothing. This one I have on at the moment, I wore to church, was made by me actually. And thank God I make clothes. So if you're someone who doesn't make clothes, you have to buy it, because the fashion sense and everything here is actually different from Nigeria, and I mean Nigerian, like I said, and it's another thing you have to adjust to. You can't go to work looking like you're going to a party. I mean, I've seen people going to the office all dressed in maybe just a t-shirt. This is not to say you can't wear a suit or you shouldn't wear a suit, but I'm just saying these were some of the things that really like surprised me. I was really surprised that so you can wear this to the office and everybody's fine, your boss is fine with it. Okay, you know, so many things like that. And they are the little things. So I believe if you're relocating, or you plan to relocate, or you're just relocated rather, these are some of the things that I feel should be easy for you. Let me not even start with getting pants my size. It was so hard, because I don't know, generally it's really hard. It's like the size 10 here is really small compared to the size 10 that I get in Lagos. I don't know how it works, but trust me, if you have little knowledge about it, you can leave it in the comment section, because trust me, the confusion when I'm trying to get clothes, the only time I'm lucky is maybe when I order from, I'm going to do a haul in this channel, don't worry, I have so many things coming for you guys, but today we're talking about relocating, so let's not shy away from the topic. So all of those things, the traditions, the food, the culture, the language, the dressing, and all of that, everything, it's a lot to take in. And like I said, it might take you up to a year before you're able to like really like, before you get, you know, used to some of these things. And I'm saying this because although for some people it's easy, but for me it actually took me weeks, months before I started, you know, really adjusting. And winter is coming, and honestly I don't know how I'm going to deal with it. For someone who is coming from a very warm country, but well, the next thing is creating a network. That also, and this is I'm saying this because it's really hard when you relocate or when you get to another place entirely. Even if you're in Nigeria and you're planning to relocate to maybe another state, you get it's crazy. Like, and I'm saying it's crazy because I have been there, I dealt with it. Although I was lucky to have really nice people around me, and my church is like a family to me. And you know, over time I built this kind of network that, you know, if I need help, I have people that I can easily call that, okay, I don't understand this, please sir, please ma, please sis, please bro, can you help me? You know, which is what I'm saying, you need to create your own network. You need to, once you get to that place, obviously you have to be careful with the people you move around, obviously, but I'm sure you would have to take time, study people and all. You have to create your network. Don't be a one-man island. Don't say because you relocated, you don't know anybody, you stay in your room, you're not going anywhere. So that's also important. You have to create your own network. Another big issue when you relocate is housing. My God, housing. Because I'm not going to even get into the issues you would have if you get to another place. And it happens in even Nigeria. You go and check a house, because I used to stay alone. I remembered what I went through when I was in Lagos, when I was looking for a place to stay. Like I wanted to move out, and before I got a place, you know, and you will get to a place, they will tell you, we don't want Yoruba person, we don't want Igbo, we don't want Hausa, we don't want this one. And it's real, trust me, this is not stereotype. It is real. I actually saw it with my 2 eyes, yes. And I think that's another issue. When you relocate, whether outside Nigeria or anywhere around Nigeria, you have to prepare your mind. Housing can be a bit of a hassle. It can be a problem sometimes rather. You can really have issues with, finding your way. Usually if you're someone who is coming or going to a place to work or even to school, you need somewhere close to the school. And what happens if maybe the rent is, times 3 of what you planned? Which is why I said you should also do your research. Housing is another big issue that you need to look into before relocating. These are the realities that people will not want to talk about. I've seen so many things on social media. They'll tell you, relocate to this place, this is what you get, this is what you get. Fine, you get something out of it, but what happens to like the housing, the feeding and all those things? Because I'm coming to that, the financial aspect. Like if you're in a place where you moved, you're managing yourself with how much naira, and then you move to a new place, and maybe the cost of living is super high, you have to adjust. So the financial and the housing, everything, you have to also plan that. I think this is the mistake so many people make. You plan that, okay, so and so, I'm going to this place, I'm going there to school. Okay, I'm going to this place, I'm going there to work. I know that by the time I gather in 2-3 months, I'm going to get money. Whereas, what happens if you move into a place and the owner tells you to move out? They want you to move out in the next time your contract ends, and you didn't plan it before. And usually for me, I think that's not something that really happens back home. But I believe it's some of the things that happens here in Malta, and you want to move to a new country that you don't know anyone. And there's this issue of not falling into the hands of people that can cheat you, and not just cheat you now, people that can collect your money and not give you anything. What we call 419 in Nigeria. You can make that mistake if you're not careful. So, which is more reason why I would not stop saying do your research. See, if you're going to relocate or you just relocated, those are the things that you need to keep in mind. But for me, I believe before you relocate into any country or wherever it is you are going to, you need to really do your research. Like I always say, you need to think about it. Okay, this job I am doing now, will I still be able to continue the job? Look at me now, I made the dress I'm wearing. I got here, I'm a student. I'm not going to go too much into that, but I'm a student. I also go to school. I also have time, like the little time I have to myself. I shoot videos on YouTube because I felt okay. I've been, postponing this for years now. I opened my YouTube in 2021, I think, but I've not been serious with it. So when I relocated, I said, okay, when I get to Malta, I want to start a YouTube channel. When I get to Malta, I want to continue my tailoring business, right? You can even follow me at Clothings by Toke. That's my tailoring page. On Instagram, that's my business page rather. So back to what I was saying. I would go to school, I would shoot videos, I would also go to work, I would also go to church, I would also make clothes for people. I have started my business here. These were some of the things that I actually planned out, because I realized that there was like high demand for, how would I explain it now? There's like high demand for people who make alterations, because people order clothes here. People who have, maybe their traditional attire, even formal wears that they don't have like a tailor to go to for like ready to wear and all of those things. So these were some of the things that I did my research and I was able to. So if you're someone who you think, okay, this thing I'm doing, when I get there, wherever I'm going, you've done your research, this thing may not work where I'm going. That's another reality that a lot of people will not want to talk about. You may have to change your career. You may have to switch. Although, yeah, I'm a student of management and HR, and yes, I've always been business oriented. I've always liked business. I'm that kind of person that I want to build my brand and all of that. But it still did not stop me from getting a job, and at least a 9 to 5 job. That's another thing. So why I'm saying this is because a lot of people think, when I relocate, she mean to just reach there first. That's broken English for when I get there, I'll sort myself out, right? But I feel like if you're going to relocate, you don't do that. You have to really. It's like a big life, like a life decision that people don't really think through. That's why you see people that they will relocate and then maybe something happens. You understand? Although sometimes life happens, but for me, I'm just that person that I really believe. Trust me, I'm a person of faith. I'm a Christian, and I pray. I really believe in directions from God. But I also believe that you need to really plan it out well. And if it doesn't go your way, then it's a different case. But if you plan it out, trust me, if God is going to bless you, what's in your hands to bless? And that's another thing. If you're someone that doesn't have a sense of direction, how do you want to understand these things? So that's even the first phase. On have a sense of direction. Because you've adjusted, okay, you spend like a year or two, you've studied everywhere, and then they begin to get really emotional because some of these things you were not prepared for it. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. Oh, it's very, very good to do your research. Some of the things that I do now, nobody helped me. I actually did my research. I found out, I started asking people questions. I found out myself. Do you understand? Yeah, to an extent, people can answer your questions, but you still have to do your work. That is my point. Let's not stay on that. Another thing is, if you're going to relocate, you also have to have like a long-term planning. You need to really plan long-term. And yes, you may plan that, okay, I won't be here in the next 50 years. But what if things don't go your ways? That's why you need to also plan long-term. You need to plan ahead. You need to plan like really, really well. You need to really, really plan. You need to talk to yourself, okay, when I move, do I intend to stay in this place forever? Because I've met people who say they don't even want to go back home to their own country. They want to stay wherever they find themselves. I have people across Europe, and I've heard so many things. You would hear people say, man, maybe when I die, you can take me back to my country. I want to stay. And then you still see people that will say, you know what, I just want to gather money, work and make few millions, and gather some, build my business here and go back home and put some money here. And some will say they just want to buy a house. They want to do this. What is your plan? You still have to plan. That's the thing. You can't just say you want to relocate and go to school. Let's see how the wind takes me. Jackpot is not for everybody. Relocation is not for everybody, and that's what so many people will never get to understand. You see, where you are may actually be more of a blessing than where you're coming. It is reality, but most people will still not want to accept. They say, you that are there, why not come? It's because, okay, I tried it and it worked for me. If I had tried it and it didn't work, I won't bother. Life goes on. See, you need to understand that this relocation thing, it's not a do or die affair. That's why I see people online, especially on Twitter. You can follow me, by the way, it's also Relocating. I see people arguing on Twitter. Okay, Canada is cold. You're shouting the ice, the snow is more iced than snow itself. Why can't you come home? Some of those people, if they can really pick a way out, I'm very sure they will not want to stay there. The thing is, you need to understand these things. Know the cost of living. Know that, okay, if I work here, the tax rate and everything will be favorable. You need to think about these things. Everybody just wants to leave Nigeria, everybody just wants to leave Cameroon, everybody wants to leave Ghana. You want to live where you are staying. Whereas where you are staying might even be a blessing. You see, for me, I'm not going to tell you my long-term plan, but I know what I want for myself. At the end of the day, what it still boils down to doing your research. Relocating, after relocating rather, you would have emotional roller coasters. And what I mean by that grammar is that there are times that you feel like, God, what am I doing? why don't I just stay at home with my parents or my siblings or my loved ones, my friends, people I'm familiar with. There are times that you'll be like, yes, I'm so happy I made this decision. And there are also times that you'll be like, what am I doing? Is there a way out of this thing? So it's just life, right? And if you're someone who is not, like your mind is not prepared, a lot of things will shock you. Not in there abroad. The only difference is that, yes, if you are coming from a place where maybe the system does not work or the system is complicated, fine, you can take advantage of it when you get to another place where the system works. But for me, I believe you just need to plan yourself well. It's a nice thing if you decide to relocate, maybe for a better life or maybe for whatever it is, to travel and see the world. Whichever way, the best thing is just plan well. Just plan. At the end of the day, whether you know what's going to happen or not, as long as there's always a plan, trust me, you will never be found hanging. And that's the way I operate. I am someone who walks in faith, right? I believe God, I trust God for so many things, even down to the littlest things. And at the same time, I still don't say because I have faith in God, I don't put in the work. I plan. You need to plan. It's a very good thing. Plan down to like these little activities. And then another thing with relocating is that when you get to a new country, it's like starting your life from, I won't say like a baby 1 year, but in a way, yes, it's in a way it's crazy. Like you feel like me will be say I'm a big man for where they come from. I can't reach here, can't start from nowhere. It happens, it's possible. You need to prepare your mind. You can get to a new country now and you have to start getting your ID card, your driver's license, your this, your that, because obviously whether you know how to drive in your country, when you get to a new country, you still have to get another driver's license. You need to get the legal document and all those things. And in some countries it's complicated, it takes time. And in some countries you get it easily. It depends. Maybe you're a third world national or whatever it is. It depends. So all these things are things that you need to think about. You need to put into. But if you're someone that zeroed your ease or mind that whatever it is, let's just see how it goes, then fine. But I'm just here to educate you that okay, I'm here to educate you on it. That whatever decision you make, just be sure what you're doing. Relocation is not a problem if you know what you're doing. And if you plan well and you go through the right way, you do your things like in order. Whether it's not even in order, as long as you do your things the right way, there's nothing wrong. And people even travel out of like free will and all of that. People travel just to explore and they meet their life partners. So that's the thing, you can keep an open mind. I believe relocating is not a problem, but I will not stop saying it. If you don't do your research, it can be a problem. So I hope you've been able to learn one or two things, and I hope as you're watching this, if you made it this far, it means you enjoyed the video. So you're always welcome. Please like, please share, subscribe. It's very important to me because I am just starting the channel and I'm just trying to help if you need help. If you sent me a message and I didn't read it, or maybe I have not checked, it's probably because you know how Instagram works. The messages are, maybe it has gone really down to where I can't see, but I always try. Once I open it, I will definitely reply, unless I don't open it. And if I don't open it, it means I didn't see the message. Please understand. Also, I am not an agent. I'm just a Nigerian girl living in Malta and just navigating life. Let's see how it goes. And I hope you went to church. Church was fun today. Man, my voice is tired. I was singing. And I hope to see you soon. Trust me, I will be dropping videos back to back now. I would really put in effort. I will be dropping videos now. See you soon. Bye bye.